Coming to menstrual health challenges, I would want to share with you one of the big challenges we found while implementing this project. The challenge has been, we've been trying to create accessible ways that girls can be reached out in terms of we have trained a number of community members on how to make reusable pads, but we are still facing challenges. I hope to engage some of you, especially Marjorie, on this topic, to share challenges in implementing the skills we have to use. And every now and then, when we are making monthly reports, we find that it's still a challenge for community members to have the material in which they can create their own pads as a solution. So, Marjorie, how do you handle that in your Msichana range?
Yes, thank you so much, Moses, for that question. And now for Msichana, yes, we make reusable sanitary pads, and our vision is to pad every girl, because we want to see that a girl should never miss school because of lack of access to sanitary pads, because we know that menstrual periods are here to stay, and it's a given, it's a natural process. So our advocacy and whatever it is that we are doing, we want to see that a girl should never miss school because they lack access to sanitary pads. So what we did in the beginning, we used to go and train the girls to make their own pads. So we had trainings in different communities, but we found that the challenge was, yes, now you've skilled the girl to make the reusable pad, but what you've actually done is you have told them to use the shape and they don't have the materials. So what they do is they still use their old clothes that their moms used to give them. They get their old clothes, put them together and just sew something that looks like a pad, but it still leaks. So the greatest challenge is access to the materials that make the reusable sanitary pads. So when we found out that, we stopped actually training girls to make the reusable pads if they don't have the material, or if we don't have the material to provide for them. So what we did, we went on that journey, we made a lot of research, and we eventually got the material that makes the reusable sanitary pads. So what we do now, we make the pads, and then we look for people to partner with, or people that can donate to these girls. We donate the pads as well, but we cannot reach everyone because these materials are very expensive. And also, maybe the material themselves are not so expensive, but the taxes that come with them. So one of the things that we are appealing to the organizations, and also we are hoping that we can partner more with policy makers and the government, such that the materials that make the pads are not actually taxed, because girls will go through these menstrual periods every single month. It is a natural thing that is happening. So for us to be able to reach all the girls that you want to reach, to be able to help them have access to these sanitary pads, the advocacy is, or the appeal is, that we make the access more affordable, or if possible, to deal with the taxes that come with the menstrual, the materials that make the menstrual pads. So that is the greatest challenge, that importing the materials, because when you look around, the materials that we have already here present on the Ugandan market are not up to standard to make a reusable sanitary pad. That's why very many come up with the shapes, they do things here and there, but they'll still leak, and they're not the pads that you're supposed to be using. So we have the pads that are meant to be used, and they're the ones that we are making right now, the Msichana pads, but you find that we are limited to give them out to all the girls because of the expenses that come with them. So what we are doing is partnering with different organizations that can fund the process of making the pads, and we are in partnership with UNDP. At least we've started the journey. So we make the pads and then we give them to the girls to keep them in school. So what we also do is we deal with we have three aspects. That is the social, keeping the other girls in school and for them to be able to interact freely in the school activities. But we also have the economic. So what we do is we find the teenage mothers, those that have dropped out of school. We say, no, you can still do something out of your life. So what we do, we skill the teenage mothers. After skilling them, we employ them. So the teenage mothers are making these pads and they're paid. So the money that they're paid is helping them take care of their children, to see if you need to go back for further studies, what do you need to do, and things like that. So we are providing a livelihood for those that are already out of school, giving them the skill and also giving them the money to take care of their children because they are paid a salary. And then telling them that actually you having a baby when you're still young is not the end of it all. You can still go back to school if you want to. You can still be a great person. So that is the economic empowerment that we do as well. But we also have the environmental sustainability part, that every part of the pad or all the materials that we use are actually reusable. Even the packaging is reusable. So those are the three aspects that we deal in: the social, the economic, and the environmental. But the greatest challenge, just to sum it up for Moses, is the access to the materials that make these pads, that they are very expensive to bring here. So those are the conversations that we want to have more with the policymakers, with government, to see how do you either subsidize this, or how do we deal with the taxes. If we can do away with them, the better, such that more girls can have access to these pads than just us going to train them, give them the skill, but don't have material. They'll still use their old clothes, the old bed sheets to put together something, but that thing will still leak and we shall not have solved anything. Thank you, Moses.
Oh, thank you, Marjorie, for that submission.